You ready for your grilling? It's like a police line-up with you two.
Have they asked us, have we just got like 10 questions that we've all answered, or have they got individual questions?
I'm not going to tell you.
I'm nervous. You're going to come out with like really hard-hitting questions.
There are some pretty hard questions,
Oh,
to be fair.
it's going to make me think on my feet.
What was your favourite genocide in history?
You do like the football lineups. Your microphone's not on though. So.
So why are we doing this?
This is a milestone video because we're really good at those on the channel. So a while back we hit 10,000 subscribers. We've hit like 250 videos and I think we hit like 1 million views. And because it's TNG, it's taken us like a year to make this. So what we asked people to do was do a Q&A for us and we would answer them. I've compiled all of the wonderful people that are involved in the channel to answer them. If you want to stick around to the end, there's also some like more channel logistic specific stuff that I'll answer personally. So before we start, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's contributed to the channel, whether you've been on, helped us at events, in the background, being a Patreon supporter, viewer, commenter, everybody. I don't think any of us actually expected to get this far. So a massive thank you from me, and we'll get on to the questions.
None. I hate coming on this channel. He forces me out. No, this is what it is. He texts me up, he goes, oh, I'm getting beat up. I've lost against Darren, or Chris is beating him up, and he goes, right, it's your time now. And I'm like, no, please don't put me on camera.
It's like going to the feeder team.
Yeah,
An easy
it's
fixture.
because of the feeder team. He prods me on.
The Batman one, definitely. Definitely the
Halloween one.
The stupidness of it, doing that whole battle reporting costume and wearing the
I was
mask.
genuinely like crying.
Oh, it was ridiculous. And when your hair disappeared off the green screen.
Veteran Captain Salt, it's up there. It's the one that made us all famous. But I think Saving Private Liam actually was just such a fun Walking Dead bat rep.
We came up with that like completely on the fly as well on the day.
Just to use that Liam model that had never seen the table.
This is the second question then. Like, what's your favourite video to record? Would you say that was your favourite one to record as well?
I think it was because I can still to this day remember the fact that I turned all tournament gamey bugger at the end of it and just ended the threat level by having Brian the governor shoot his gun and raise the mayhem.
Combat, didn't he?
Yep.
I'm still not over it. Still not over it.
My favourite game to record would be Uneasy Alliances for The Walking Dead, because that was us not only playing the game and doing what people expect, but we were introducing something brand new to that game system as well, with a unique way to play the game.
Still haven't been credited for that in the rule book.
I love Tom.
My favourite video to record was probably the first Malifaux bat rep that we did. It was me against Tom. I think it was the start of the Malifaux bat reps on TNG. And it was a totally new thing for me. I'd never recorded, never been on camera before. And it was a great game. It was really enjoyable learning all the process and everything that goes into it. I mean, seeing firsthand all the hard work that Tom puts into the channel was really sort of a great thing to be a part of. And it was not long after we'd all found each other as a group, really. So yeah, the first Malifaux bat rep was brilliant. Everything that goes into it, it's not just on camera, it's sort of the way you have to prep yourself for every activation, for every turn, for every move that you make. You have to sort of think your way through it, and the spontaneity of what can happen on camera. Something can happen during the course of the game and you have to react to it quite swift, but then you also have to remember that you are on camera, you know, so you have to watch your P's and Q's and just play through it as best you can.
I think it's trying to remember that you've planned out your whole move and making sure that you strategize. Although sometimes the dice fail you because you think, is this what I'm going to do? And then suddenly the rolls give you something extra.
I fuss, and I'm sure Alex will agree off camera here, over the minute bits when I'm recording if I don't think it's like entertaining enough. So if we have like 2 or 3 activations that are just like setting it up or moving around, I get really kind of antsy and I'm like, oh, I have to do something. Usually to my detriment, but that's probably why I like to play crews that just go and attack. A lot of people in the comments are like, oh, you know, you could have done this play, that's a high level thing, but unfortunately the high level stuff usually has 2 or 3 turns of really boring setup and people are just going to click off. So I get really antsy sometimes when I've like moved twice in an activation and I've not hit something. That might just be bloodlust, I don't know.
I think people will not really realise how much it helped with tournament play. Now, people might think recording, you're playing, it's taking time, you're redoing shots, you're redoing decisions, but talking through decisions on camera to make it clear why we were doing something then meant that when I went and played in events with people from France, from Holland, from Germany, it's very clear why I made a decision. It's very clear what I was doing. There's no misinterpretation because I talked through what I was doing on the table.
How loud you have to be, because using your normal voice does not work and does not come across on camera. So projecting your voice and being as loud as you can.
I think the amount of effort and time that goes into it, you can play a game in a couple of hours of, say, Batman, Malifaux, something like that, but with the amount of hours and the fact that you re-put the camera up for every single shot to get the best views, there's a hell of a lot of brain drain. So when it comes to turns 3 and 4, we're barely conscious, basically. And I think that sometimes when people go, you've done this wrong and you've done that wrong, one, we're casual players, and two, we're probably just about to fall asleep.
Favourite system on the channel to play is probably at the moment Shatterpoint. I really like Star Wars Shatterpoint. It's really dynamic and quick and engaging. It does well in terms of interactions. It doesn't take a whole day to record. Alternatively, Walking Dead over the entire life of the channel has always been my favourite one to record. It's dynamic, it's fun, it's chill, and I'm usually playing with like Ian or Ben or Ian Torrance, and it's just stupid. We just try to do the dumbest things. If you've not watched those series, I definitely recommend it. And just made up scenarios is great.
The Walking Dead, because it is the gateway into so many other tabletop experiences. It is, because people will be put off by heavy rule sets like 40k and whatnot, whereas when you get someone down, play a bit of Walking Dead, and they think this is amazing, and it really is a gateway into the whole hobby.
It probably is Malifaux, because I've never had a game as swingy in Malifaux as in some of the other games like Marvel and Batman. Batman's quite close, but yeah, it's always going to be Malifaux.
I think my favourite system that I've played would be Batman. And I love this 3rd edition just for the way it plays, with the crew decks really sort of giving a theme to how you want to put the game together, whether you're playing Two-Face, whether you're playing Riddler with the Riddle tokens, whether you're trying to arrest people with Batman or just have madness and murder with Joker.
Currently it's Moonstone. Moonstone is such a fun little game. The combat mechanic's amazing. The bluff mechanic is good fun. And the models are stupidly pretty.
I'm torn between the ones I play on it. Like Walking Dead was the first one in, but Marvel is really good fun as well. Particularly if you've got Scarlet Witch in your army. That generally makes the game go well.
So, Foe, Moonstone, Batman, I would say those 3 at the moment are my favourite systems to play. You know, not disrespecting any other game that we play or anything like that, but I think those 3 are the ones at the moment that I'm like anybody. You know, sometimes you want pizza, sometimes you want lasagna.
Corny's going to blame me and say that I've just taken all of his hair away.
Draining my life force. Help me. I mean, you know, that's why I'm so big, because I've got to keep like energy in me, because he drains it so quick. He's a vampire. He's an energy vampire, and that is why his hair's so nice. So if I come up as a skeleton somewhere and he looks like that Chad guy, then you know he's done with me. You better watch out, because we're coming for you next.
I've heard some sort of blood sacrifice and voodoo, worshipping Pandora.
It's blood.
blood.
I love Tom's hair, and what I think the viewers should do, or maybe Tom will do it when he puts the video together, is go through all the videos that there are and put a compilation of his different cuts together, because there've been so many different cuts, styles, colours to it. It is unbelievable. I don't think we've changed since we've been on the channel.
Probably lots of Brill cream, that and genetics.
Good genetics.
The least offensive answer.
It's got to be genetics. I've met your dad.
Painted. You having a laugh, you lad? Painted. Well, it's a small. I mean, I've not got a lot of choice. Let's put it that way. Molly 1 actually came out really well. Fun little tidbit. I painted Molly 1 twice, because the first time I broke her. So because I tried to varnish, and then somehow I touched it where it was too
wet.
It was wet. Sorry. That was so bad.
I think most recently would be the Brotherhood faction in Marvel, particularly around Scarlet Witch, Magneto. There's Mr. Sinister. That was a really nice crew to paint up.
Mar took it too. Mecha Mimar. It's an amazing big model, and all the rust and that slapped all over it. I just really enjoyed it.
Possibly Killjoy from the Titania, if you want to get it pronunciation correct, battle report, just because it's such a cool limited edition model, and I got to spend a bit of time in lockdown on it and that entire crew.
My favourite model to paint was the Whisperers. They look absolutely unbelievable because the zombies look good, you expect them to look like zombies, but when you look in detail at the Whisperer models, especially the ones that we've converted, they look insane because you can tell that they're alive, but they look so ugly and disgusting. They're brilliant.
It's for a system that we don't actually play. So I've got a Bushido crew from the starter set, and I don't know the guy's name. He's got walking with gun. He's got Miyamoto or something like that. And I painted that model over the course of one evening, but I don't know. It's like one of those. It's like lightning in a bottle moments. You repaint something and it comes really well. And for some reason, it just worked out. I layered stubble onto him. I did contrast to start with and layered up colours. And he just came out really vibrant. And there are times where I look at the Bushido stuff, and we never have time to play Bushido. It's way too complex to fit into our systems. But I look at it and I'm just like, that's a really nice model. I wish that was like a master for another crew that I could use.
My personal favourite model that I've painted is probably Piker Barrows, and by extension the remaining part of his crew, the ones that appeared on the first Bat Rep.
I do like the blacksmiths that I did for the channel. They were my first play with contrast shifting paints. They were really interesting. But actually the most fun is probably that veteran Captain Salt with the quiff. Or TNG Negan.
Who has the best bum in the TNG cast? Just you.
Didn't have to finish it. Didn't have to finish that. Me.
It's corny. It's got to be corny. I can't compete. I can't. Have you seen it?
Look. Right. How can you say anybody else?
Courtney.
Reasons.
Quantity over quality.
It's massive, right? You can get both hands on it.
Best mechanic on the channel is Walking Dead with the event deck that you play in every single turn, because you've basically got a third player in the game, and when that goes wrong, it really goes wrong. So thematic, absolutely love it.
The event cards in The Walking Dead, the mechanic of that just throws a game on its head. You can be convinced that you have either won a game or lost a game. You draw a certain card and the game flips on its head. If you're a competitive player, it'd probably do your head in. But as a player for fun, honestly, it's such a great mechanic.
Stormcoming is.
Yes.
That can change an entire game.
It can.
So, in terms of best game mechanics, Moonstone, I really like the bluffing mechanic. It works really, really well. It adds some dynamicy to the actions. I think you can get something off without actually having the thing to get it off. It's a really good thing.
Best mechanic, I think the combat mechanic in Moonstone, there might be a little bit of recency bias.
Yeah.
You know, I like playbooks in Guild Ball, but the combat mechanic in Moonstone, the fact that you can die off of your opponent's counter-strike.
I'd say the best Malifaux in terms of what I play.
What specific mechanic?
Specific the card, the deck, the Fate deck, it's just so... Well, we say it's less swingy than dice, but then we do find there are games where you flip nothing but good cards and nothing but bad cards, but I think luck can be less on your side in Malifaux. It's more evenly balanced compared to like MCP. I think that's probably the worst. It's not the worst mechanics, it's the most basic mechanics out of everything we play on the channel, I think. So again, you can just have a terrible game of dice in that and it never goes your way, and you feel, if it's you feel terrible. If it's your opponent, you feel terrible for them, but there's nothing you can really do about it other than say roll your dice better.
Having not played it, and I own, as usual, you know me, I own 3 or 4 different crews, but I still to this day can't really figure out the scoring mechanics in Batman. The Batman miniature game has such pretty models again, but I can't figure out how to play it, and that's why it's all sitting unbuilt.
Worst, I have fundamental hatred of ping damage in Malifaux. Anything that does 1 damage, anything that can kill me without me having to do anything. It's just, okay, your model's dead. I don't like not being able to react to something or prevent something in some way. So anything that just happens is my personal bugbear.
I've never recorded Lord of the Rings yet because I don't know how to play the game.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I mean, again, just from nostalgia's sake, I absolutely love Necromunda. I know it would be a tricky thing to film, sort of because of the character development, which would maybe have to be off camera. But a Necromunda campaign, I think Tom may disagree with me because setting up the board and the camera angles might be a little bit
He
difficult.
doesn't like verticality.
But yeah,
Stay on the ground.
Necromunda is a game that I will revisit at some point, but it would be the classic version of Necromunda.
The Song of Fire and Ice game and the Conquest game, I'm a real fantasy player, so the rank and file stuff tickles my jimmies. But being able to paint all that, I struggle to paint like 8 models, never mind an army of 100. And 2, being able to record that would probably be a bit too much.
The obvious answer is Aristea. Aristea is my favourite game system, and we just can't record it. It'd have to be a live play style recording, and you have to have dice trays, and just those suck. The one that I want to record that we probably will eye up because we've all just bought into it is probably Carnivale. But I think building an entire Venice board is going to be the first mission with that. But I always say Aristea. Aristea is a brilliant game and it's really fun, but just the matching of dice and sorting that out does take a little bit of time, and I think it would be hard to record that.
Oh,
Why is it Carnivale?
You're right. It is Carnivale, and I would love it. But the only person out of all of the extended TNG family that's got Carnivale terrain is me, and it's only part painted, and I have to bring it 200 miles south to fit it on a table.
You've got to ship Venice from Scotland.
What the hell do we do next? Grow, get bigger, expand the channel. I would like to appear more, scheduling permitting. But at the end of the day, TNG it's a worthwhile channel. They do things a lot differently to a lot of the other miniature content providers out there.
OnlyFans. With Courtney's arse.
30k OnlyFans, mate. That's what it. That's my promise to you guys.
That's it.
That's my promise to you guys.
I think I always said to Alex that I felt that this project, for want of a better word, could hit 10,000 subscribers. I felt like a channel that doesn't cover Warhammer 40k or Age of Sigmar, if you just do battle reports mainly, can hit 10,000. I have no idea what the upper limit is though. Like, I don't know how far that goes. I think, like I said before, we're very, very lucky with the viewership we have, especially our Patreon supporters. Oh my God, they're patient with like just supporting us, whatever idiocy we do. I think it's just a case of seeing how far it stretches. None of us have got really any feelings of slowing down.
It would be nice to do what next? Maybe an all-day event where we have a kind of camera where it's like a Big Brother diary cam nonsense moment. Everyone can come off their game and say what went well, what went badly. Have a bit of fun with it.
We keep going. We progress forward. We get more people into the hobby. We start running events. We get people talking about TNG productions.
And we beat Tom.
Yes, we need to beat him on the channel.
Rule the world.
Rule the world. Are these my ones now? Mm-hmm. Go for it. This is the deep questions now. The deep questions for how does the channel work? So the backstory of the channel is probably a weird one. I changed jobs. Most people know that I'm a teacher. And I moved up to where I currently reside, I want to say February-ish. And I think the job started in April. But basically, I'd quit my old job at Christmas. So I had a 4-month gap where teachers will know this, that I wanted to preserve my voice. That's the lamest way of saying it. So I just started streaming video games for a little bit on Twitch and on YouTube. And then when I moved up here, there was a Wargaming store that I started interacting with. Hadn't really played much since I was a kid, and not really interacted much even back then. And I was watching a battle report for the Batman miniatures game. And it was by, I can't remember the channel's name though. They also have productions in their name. That's why we have productions in our name. And it sucked. It was just really frustrating. I was trying to watch this game and the camera angles were really awkward. The miniatures were too far away and they'd not put anything on. I was like, why do they not just put the cards on the screen? Like, it would explain this so much easier. And at that point I got into Guild Ball, threw a Hail Mary, chucked it together on Windows Movie Maker, And I think DaVinci Resolve, I think it used to crash. It took like, what, 4 hours to render? And then it would crash like 8 times or something. And then went from there. So it started off with video gaming to preserve my voice, started to go to wargaming, and then I got very lucky that it kind of snowballed a little bit, and it's a fun little passion project now. There have been so many. I've been doing this for about 6 years, I want to say, at the time of recording, and YouTubers came a long way in those 6 years. So when I started, you couldn't put a pinned comment at the top of the comments. You couldn't really mute people the same way. You couldn't organise the things. We've gone through a lot of changes that have gone with YouTube, and actually those things have actually been logistically pivotal. Being able to put a pinned comment saying, shut up, this is a casual channel, mitigates comments really easily. I'd say for me, though, the most pivotal change that I've experienced was probably the Harlefo guys. Like, Alex is nodding off camera. I think the channel was kind of in this weird flux, and I just randomly wanted to play Malifaux. We went down to play with those guys, have got the best friendship group I could ever ask for. The weirdest little meta where no one really plays Warhammer, but we play every single other system, and we play like 20 systems on rotation. And to have them not only be people I play every single week, but want to come on the channel, want to do the podcast stuff. I mean, Harlefo would be another pivotal moment in terms of the podcast, but to have those people and to make it so fresh and so fun. Like when we are recording, we're just recording what we feel like playing. And the channel has lived longer because of that. I edit because of that. I mean, I'm very, very lucky to have the friendship group that I do. Hit 10,000 subscribers without doing Warhammer. I think we did pretty well. I mean, Shadespire doesn't count. And we get this all the time. Could we do 40k or could we do Age of Sigmar? And while I am 100% certain it would triple or quadruple our numbers in subscribers and views if we did battle reports of the quality that we do with the effort that we put into painting and terrain, we'd absolutely smash it. But what we've traditionally said is that will open us up to a community of people that don't necessarily resonate always with what we want to do. Do you know what? Like when we started this like 6 years ago, I would have done a massive essay about how it takes an hour to record every turn and 2 hours to edit it, and thumbnails and uploading and rendering. Honestly, in 2024, and I have no IT experience for this when I started, it's relatively fine. Like I've got a 1-year-old son, a wonderful wife. I have free time. I have friends that I do stuff. I play football at weekends and stuff. Like it doesn't eat into it. And I actually think it's a rant I could go on here. I actually think it's a little bit of an excuse perhaps bigger YouTubers use that this is impossible to do and this is impossible to sustain. And it's like, it's not. Like it really is straightforward enough to do. The first time I edit a system, it takes longer because I have to make all the cards and setups and scoreboards and that. But when it's in place, it is literally just a case of plugging it in and getting ready to go. The biggest challenges I have is trying to not play Tekken when I'm editing. So many lessons learned. This gets coupled a lot of time actually. We ask people about like, would you do this full time? And I think the answer to that question goes with this one. No. I think you have to record when it's fun and when it's something you're interested in, you're passionate about. So organising something just to record doesn't work. There are people who put out like millions of battle reports and they're just a little bit soulless, and you kind of lose some of the, I don't call it magic because that's lame, but you want that interaction with your opponent. Doing Guild Ball as my first game was a massive learning curve for just how horrible and toxic a community can be. I met some of my best mates through that system, but my God, that YouTube culture was toxic. I've learned that it's important to put things into perspective with how finished I think something is. There's a lot of times where I want to spend another 2 hours on a battle report and add new graphics and things, and when I've got time I can, but if not, it's completely viable and no one's going to notice it because it's in the second hour of a battle report and there's only the people who will want to see it all the way through. Same with painting and terrain. I think I used to worry about the minutiae of how everything was painted. Now I just want it to be to a standard that I'm happy with. Playing games, not just on the channel. Very lucky to have the club that I do. That keeps the passion going and the different systems. So I'm very, very lucky that I record with my friends and we do what's fun for us. And yeah, never going to do that full time. I think my job is way better and I have the holidays and I have the family that I do. So yeah, record when it's good, edit when it's good, play games outside of that. The podcast is going really well. The channel continues to grow and does well. I'd love to be able to do a few more painting tutorials. I think with the old world coming out, that might be an opportunity. But there's so many systems that we want to cover, and we love doing the kind of systems that we have so far. I think realistically, it's just a case of riding it out until we either A, get bored, which we've got no sign of that happening, or B, something else happens that draws our interest. But it's a really, really fun spiral that I've fallen into with this, and I've met a lot of wonderful people that I consider very close friends. My wife was subscriber number what?
750.
750, which is long time ago now, thinking about that. It's insane to think where it's at. It's very, very pleasing, and I'm very proud to say it hit 10k. And ever since then, mentality towards numbers has gone completely out the window. I never used to be one for analytics anyway, but like, it was that kind of like, I feel like we could be at that level. Now we are. It's kind of like, I think at the time of recording, we're heading towards 12k. 12, 13, 15, drops back down to 9. I don't really care at this stage. I think it's just a case we continue to play what we think is fun. As long as people want to watch it and they comment and they chat to us about it in our Discord, and we can continue to have the fun that we do, I think that's it. Aside from that, maybe an event, maybe another event at some point. It's been a long time since we've held one. I think it'd be great to just physically get loads of people together. But yeah, I don't know. Get corny to do an OnlyFans. That's probably the only real answer. Well, a massive thank you for watching that video, guys. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you want to find some more, they should be over here. And if you want to support the channel and the content that we create here, there's links to our Patreon and merchandise in the description below. Take care.